I used to work as a lawyer on the Champs-Élysées in Paris, and I've been an entrepreneur for the past 6 years. I've had the opportunity to travel the world, go to prestigious places, and meet many powerful women. In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 truths that are common to all the powerful women that I've met, so that you can make those truths part of your life and be powerful yourself. Truth number 1, they stopped trying to be liked. And that's because powerful women aim at being respected, not approved of. When your objective is to be respected, what you're putting forward is thought leadership. That means that you're not looking for other people to agree with what you think. You're looking for them to be impressed by how well-formed your thoughts are. And that requires you to be confident in your thoughts, which powerful women are. And the reason why they're confident in their thoughts is because they are in full agreement with themselves. So how do you achieve that kind of confidence? How can you too be a powerful woman in full agreement with her thoughts? And what I'm about to show you is the technique that I used to develop my own confidence. Because believe it or not, and something that I've never shared on the channel before, I used to be extremely shy. To the extent that when I was a kid, I needed my mom to come with me everywhere because I couldn't speak to the adults. When I was a student, I spoke so softly that my teachers got annoyed at me because they couldn't hear me. And when I started my career as a lawyer, I was so shy that I didn't even manage to speak in meetings when they were in English because I was doubting myself so much. So I have worked very hard to develop the confidence that I have today. And if I could do it, you can do it too. And I'm about to share the technique that I've been using to develop that confidence. And that's the technique that I teach in depth inside the Authority Vault, which is my dressing school, where I help you dress more confidently and show up more confidently. So there are 2 things that you should do to develop unshakable confidence. The first one is to fake it. Fake it to yourself. Fake it to others. Fake it to yourself first because your brain is only afraid of things that you haven't done. Your brain needs the proof that something is safe. And the only way to bring it that proof is to take action and to experience the experience. Reaching out to a new prospect, pushing people to invest, launching a new service, speaking up when you're doubting what your lawyer or tax advisor is saying. These are all things that are scary because you've never done them. But once you start doing them, they're going to become more familiar and therefore they're not going to be scary anymore. Fake it to others because people believe you based on the certainty of your tone. You can deliver the exact same information. If you say it with conviction, people are going to trust you and be on board. If you say it doubting yourself, they're not going to. And the second thing that you should do to develop unshakable confidence is to look at where you disagree with yourself. And that's super powerful. If you think about the amount of energy that you spend all the time doubting yourself, replaying conversations, preparing conversations, just because you doubt your own thoughts. The problem and the reason why most of us struggle with that is that we've been taught that there is something wrong with us. Simply because when we were young, we expressed ourselves openly, but we were told, don't say that. Don't think that. All those interactions, they built the belief that there is something wrong with our natural thoughts, our natural inclinations to things. So as adults, when a thought arises, we self-correct, and that makes us lose confidence. The reason you're not feeling confident is because you have 2 you in your head. The natural you with your natural inclinations and the learned you. The one with all the watch out, don't do this is right, this is wrong. So to develop the confidence of a powerful woman, you need to erase the learned you so that you can fully focus and listen to the natural you. This way you will stop self-correcting and you will start showing up as a powerful woman who doesn't care if people disagree with her ideas because she fully agrees with them. So how do you do that in practice? The first thing you need to develop is the ability to tell if the thought is the natural you or the learned you. So literally, when a thought arises, ask yourself if it's natural you or if it's learned you. Usually, The thoughts from natural you are going to be empowering thoughts. They're going to be daring thoughts. They're going to be thoughts that move you forward. Like, oh, I should speak up. I should say that. I should reach out to this person. And the limiting thoughts, the correcting thoughts are the learned you. What if I'm not ready yet? What if they think I'm pushy? What if they think I'm money hungry? These are all thoughts that cause you to shrink. When you have identified what is the nature of the thought, so either natural thought, either learned thought, you're going to, if it's natural thought, act on it, as scary as it may be. If it's learned thought, then you're going to ask yourself, what do I really think of this? And you're gonna have the answer. Listen to that answer instead and take it as the truth. The natural, unfiltered thoughts that you have are your leadership. You cannot lead if you continue self-correcting all the time. When you're done watching this video, try this. Try first identifying what is the nature of the thoughts that arise in your mind. Second truth about powerful women is that they don't explain themselves. And now you probably understand why. Explaining yourself is a way of softening the landing of what you say, so you're sure that the emotions of the other person are not negative or too negative. But powerful women, because they don't care about being liked or approved of, they don't justify, they only state. Because as I was saying earlier, there is a true power in saying things with confidence. People don't know the value of what you say. You are the only one, through the way that you convey what you want to convey, that can show this value. If you explain yourself, if you justify yourself, if you use a lot of softening words, then the information that you're conveying is not conveyed as something of value. It's conveyed as something that is weak, something that you state clearly, without doubt. Even you might be doubting in your head, but you should say it without the doubt, is something that is going to be perceived as strong and reliable, and therefore as something of value. Men are great at this. They don't have the certainty that what they're saying is 100% true or completely bulletproof, but they say it anyways with the confidence that it must be right. And that is why they're taken seriously, and that is why they tend to advance more. Because us women, we feel the need to make sure that our idea is completely bulletproof and 100% true, and that it cannot be discussed, because otherwise we would be failing. Powerful women emulate men in this way because they have understood that saying things with certainty is the best way to be taken seriously by the human brain. The human brain has no way of knowing if what you are saying is completely bulletproof or 100% true. So if you say it with confidence, it's going to grant you the benefits of the doubt that it wouldn't grant you if you're saying it with a lot of doubt. And if you say something wrong with conviction and confidence, and it turns out publicly that it was wrong, nobody is going to care. You see it every day with men. Something that helped me a lot with this was to, instead of thinking that I had to say something that was 100% true, otherwise I would lose face, I thought of my ideas as contributions to a conversation. I would say them with confidence, and if my idea was challenged, I wouldn't take it personally, as in I have failed. I would take it as, oh, that's a great way to build that idea even more up. And that's how you can remain in your power, even though you have said something that was wrong or not 100% exact. Third truth, calm is the flex, not the hustle, like it is for many women. Powerful women, contrary to many other women, don't perform exhaustion as a badge of honor. We've been raised watching movies of successful women running around, serving even more successful women, sleeping very late, only eating girl dinner, losing the boyfriend to it. And that has been presented to us as the way to succeed. You need to sacrifice your health, your sleep, and just run around so that you can advance. Visible struggle is not a proof of success, it's a proof of loss of control. Because if you had control over your time, over your boundaries, over your standards. You would not accept to be running around serving a boss that doesn't even respect you. If you're running around, it's the proof that you're still completely grounded in the need to please, in the need to be liked. And if you're there, that's the reason why you still take on the client that is not fully aligned, that you still renew the client who is a pain in the bum, that you don't raise your prices because you're afraid of losing everybody. And these are all the micro decisions that lead you to needing to run around. You can still be the underdog and still be fighting to make it, but it shouldn't show. And even more so, the more you set your power, the more you set your boundaries, the more you set your limits, the more you're going to grow, because people are going to respect you more. They're going to consider you as more valuable. So even if you're boiling inside, carry yourself calmly in a way that is detached, just like a powerful woman would do. Fourth truth, powerful women treat their attention as their most precious asset. We all have 24 hours in the day. That's where we are the most equal. And we all have a certain amount of energy to dedicate to things. Therefore, what we decide to use that energy on is what builds our life. If I decide to use a lot of my attention on social media, I'm going to compare myself, I'm going to compare my financial success, I'm going to compare my physical appearance, I'm going to compare the state of my house, how I'm raising my kids, how well I'm doing in business. And therefore, I'm going to feel insecure. I'm going to feel like I'm not enough. And I'm going to feel like I'm constantly failing. And that's what's going to shape my life. If I make decisions for my life thinking that I'm constantly failing, that I'm not enough, that there is something wrong with me or that I'm behind, the kind of decisions that I'm going to make are not going to be empowering ones. Where I put my attention impacts what my life looks like. Conversely, if I decide to spend my attention on building myself, building my business, reading books, talking to people that elevate me, watching YouTube videos that elevate me, I'm going to be in a mental state of I'm progressing, I'm learning, I'm advancing, I can do this, I can feel the progress. Therefore, I'm going to be in an empowered state. And the kind of decisions that I'm going to make from an empowered state are going to be powerful decisions that are going to move me forward. And that's how what I paid attention to is going to make my life better. Powerful women are acutely aware of this. And that is why they are so purposeful with their time. That's why they say no to the drinks. That's why they say no to events that seem like great opportunities. That's because they know that they can use that time for something that is more powerful, that is more impactful for their life and for where they want to go. Fifth truth about powerful women is that they name their price and they go silent. They don't justify. They don't try to offer a promotion right away. They don't start naming all the features of their service for that price. They just remain silent. And that's because they know that that silence is giving the prospect the time to think. On the other hand, justifying right away or naming all the features or offering a discount, saying, but for you, I could make an effort right away. That is something that makes you look like you don't see prospects every day and that you really need this one to say yes because you don't know how you're going to make payroll. And the thing that it does is that it completely drops your perceived value, because then the prospect thinks, does she have any clients? Like, how is this going? Is she good at all? A concrete tip for that, if you do your sales calls, is to name your price and then count to 8, like seconds. It's going to feel like an eternity, but it's going to make you look grounded. It's going to give you time to breathe as well and relax that you set such a high price. And it's also going to give your prospect the time to process the price and picture themselves making the investment. Sixth truth about powerful women is that they charge for the outcome, not the time they spend. They're not looking for customers who ask, what do I get for that price? They're looking for customers who ask, what is this worth to me? How is this going to impact my life? When you sell your time, you sell your hourly rate. That means that you are putting out energy in exchange of a payment. But energy is finite, it fluctuates, and if there is no energy, there's no money. So it's not something that is wrong in itself, but it's something that keeps you stuck in selling your precious energy for an amount of money that is way lower than what you could get if you were to sell the result. Result is decorrelated from energy. You can deliver an exceptional result with little energy. The result is going to be exceptional because it's going to help your prospect tremendously. The amount of help that you provide to your prospect does not need to be correlated with the amount of energy that you put out. Seventh truth, powerful women underconsume loudly and invest quietly. You've probably noticed that powerful women don't mind saying that they don't buy much. They'll tell you with pride that they've worn the same coat for 10 years, that they don't own the bag that everybody's talking about, that they've been using the same shoes for 3 seasons. And they'll say all of that with zero shame because to them it's not deprivation, it's a flex. And it's the opposite of what we are taught, especially through TVs, magazines, and now mostly social media. We're taught to consume so that we can belong. We're taught to have the thing so that we can show that we're part of the group. But a powerful woman has understood that this kind of behavior conveys neediness. It conveys the need to be approved of, to show that you are enough because you believe deep down that you're not. And therefore, it doesn't make you look powerful, it makes you look weak. And that's where it ties back to truth number 1. Because when you don't have your learned self that is telling you to buy the bag so that you can belong, you don't feel the need to prove that you do because you are so comfortable with yourself and who you are. You are so grounded in your leadership. It doesn't mean that powerful women don't spend, they very much do. But when it comes to clothes specifically, they will spend on pieces that last, pieces that they know are going to complement their already existing wardrobe. They're going to add a piece to the puzzle. It's not something that they're going to wear for a season to look cool and in or just to feel new and fresh. It's something that they know they're going to be able to wear and keep for years. So the piece has to be timeless and it has to be of excellent quality so that it can last throughout the years. They're not necessarily going to buy luxury. They're not necessarily going to buy brands. They're going to buy the piece that they know meets those criteria. And that takes me to truth number 8. They know the difference between expensive and quality. And unfortunately, today, the two are decorrelated. Today, you'll be offered to buy a Lady Dior for 3K while it has been made for 53 euros. A shoe can be made entirely in Vietnam, get its sole glued in Italy, and then have the Made in Italy label. So you can't trust today that a high price is going to give you high quality, high craftsmanship. Powerful women have understood that luxury specifically ask for high prices just because of the brand, not because of the quality or the craftsmanship. Therefore, she stopped trusting brands and she even stopped trusting the label because there can be a lot of fake there as well. And she trusts her hands and her eye. She looks at how the piece takes the light and she holds it in her hands to see if the material matches the levels of quality she knows she can get. She knows that she should rub cashmere under her finger to see if the fibers are short or long. She knows how to recognize buttons that are in shell or in plastic or horn in plastic. She knows how to recognize a good leather from its density and its suppleness at the same time. She can tell if a cotton shirt is of good quality based on its weaving. And this is not because she's snob, it's because she is literate. because there are differences in quality, and unfortunately today everything is made to confuse the consumer. So if you don't have that knowledge yourself to be able to see and touch beyond the brand and beyond the label inside, you are still going to spend your money on pieces that are not worth it, that are not going to last, and that are not going to make you look as expensive as they should. Knowing how to recognize quality is also something that makes powerful women feel powerful, because they know they can't be bought. They know they can find the needle in the haystack. They know they can find the piece that is going to look impeccable, because they can recognize the quality of the material, the perfection of a cut, and they don't get fooled by social media or a fancy store with a lot of crap in it. And that's something that gives them a great sense of power and a great sense of confidence. And that takes me to truth number 9, which is that powerful women take logos as a cheap signal. The only thing that a logo proves is that you have money, or at least you had enough money to purchase that specific piece. But it says nothing about your education, it says nothing about your taste, and it says nothing about your standards either. So powerful women are proud to have outgrown the need for logos, because now logos are everywhere and you can just, buy it at the airport. So it's not something that makes powerful women want to associate themselves with. Instead, the signals of success that a powerful woman is going to use are signals that can't be read by everybody. So it's going to be the cut of a garment, the quality of the suede, the patina on the bag, the way she paired her outfit with the exact amount of jewelry, the restraint that she portrays in how she dresses. These are all the subtle codes that she uses so that not everybody knows of her success, even though usually they can sense it, but only the 3 important people in the room. And those people who have the same standards, the same literacy, usually tend to be great clients or business partners. And I think we can all agree that the most powerful woman in the room is the one who is wearing the least logos and the quietest outfit, and still, for some reason, looks and feels like the most powerful. And finally, the 10th truth is that powerful women invest in knowledge instead of investing in things. Most people will spend to own something, but a powerful woman is going to spend to know something. And that's because she's understood that the things that you own lose value, they depreciate. Even though it might feel like power to own things, especially if they're expensive, it's actually just throwing money out the window, because those things devaluate. But a powerful woman has understood that if she invests in her knowledge, in her education, that's something that actually compounds, because what you learn this year is going to make your next year better, and what you learn next year, the next year even better. So there is always progress and improvement towards success when you are learning. Knowledge stays with you forever, wherever you go, for the rest of your life. So a powerful woman is going to invest in mentoring, she's going to invest in education, and she's not going to see it as an expense. She's really going to see it as an investment that is going to bring her more down the line. So it's the same example as the woman who spends 3K on a handbag that makes her feel confident for 2 weeks and then she needs another one. Instead of learning how to feel truly confident and how to choose pieces that actually convey what she should be conveying to be considered as somebody successful and as somebody worth of time and money. And all those truths that make them powerful women is not something that they were born with. It's something that they learned, either because they were lucky enough to be in a family where they could learn it from, either because they decided to invest to learn it. It's so that you can learn those things that I've created the Authority Vault. I've been lucky enough to be raised in an environment where dressing well, knowing materials, knowing etiquette was part of everyday life. And I know a lot of women haven't had that chance. And if I hadn't had all those skills, I know I wouldn't be where I am, because I have engineered my life up to this point. Back when I was a lawyer, I have confidently applied to places I knew were the top because I knew I could portray myself as the top. If tomorrow I were to meet the president of the French Republic, I would know exactly how to dress, how to speak, how to behave, what to do at dinner, what conversations to have and not to have. So if you would like to learn all those codes, I invite you to join the Authority Vault. It's the program that I've created to teach you all those things. You're going to learn your style archetype. That means the kind of dressing that you should put forward so that there is perfect alignment between who you are and how you present yourself. You're going to build the capsule wardrobe that makes dressing well effortless for you. You're also going to learn how to get the eye. You're going to learn how to see clothing the way I see clothing. That means that you're always going to know whether you're underdressed or overdressed. You're always going to know how to dress exactly appropriately for the situation. There's not going to be too much jewelry. You're going to stop doubting whether you paired the right top with the right bottom and the right shoes. You will know all of that and you will feel confident. Not only that, I'm going to teach you my confidence method. So all the principles and frameworks I have used to develop that confidence that you see today. First as a lawyer and then as an entrepreneur in front of the camera, in front of hundreds of thousands of people every day through my content. And I'm also going to show you all of the etiquette principles that I was taught as a child with my grandparents in the chateau, and then later on as a lawyer in very prestigious rooms like the United Nations. And because I'm extremely proud of this program and I'm really confident that it's going to give you the confidence in getting dressed and in presenting yourself that you're looking for, I take all the risk and you get to try it for 30 days, go through all the modules, all the different trainings, you get to attend the live calls with me, be in the community with other women. And then if you realize that it's not right for you, you simply ask for your money back. You don't need to explain yourself. You're done with that anyways. And I will give you your money back. No questions asked. So worst case, you don't lose any money, and best case, you know how to dress, you know how to behave, you raise your prices, you get better clients, and it just changes your life. Thank you for spending this time with me. I will see you very happily in the next one. À bientôt!